Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the Pierce Family channel. If you're new here, my name is Jade and I'm a mom to 8.5-month-old Isaac. And today I want to talk about raising a son in a society of toxic masculinity. This is something I've been thinking about since we found out we were having a boy last October. I knew immediately that it would be my job to raise a son who would become a gentleman and a man with emotional intelligence. I want Isaac to live in a household and world where he can be anything if he works at it. I want our home to be a place where expressing emotions is encouraged. Whenever he cries because he feels sad or gets hurt, I want those feelings to be validated, and I want my son to be heard, and I want him to feel heard. And because we live in the world we do, I intend to be very clear and very strict when it comes to consent. No means no, period. I will allow him to choose when he gets hugged or kissed or tickled, even by us. There won't be an instance when a family member pushes him into doing it because he feels like he has to. As a kid, I always remember being told that I had to give somebody a hug, and I don't want to put Isaac in that uncomfortable situation. I also plan to be adamant with this if he's touching me and I've asked him not to. I plan to be very careful about the language I choose to use with Isaac. Language is our main tool of communication, and I don't take it lightly. I don't want anyone telling my son that boys will be boys, or boys don't cry, or don't be a sissy, or man up. I'd rather surround him with language like, it's okay to be sad. Everyone gets sad. Can you tell me why you're feeling like that? And can I give you a hug? No? Okay. It's your body and you have the right to decide who touches it. I always want to think about how I'm phrasing things because small semantic differences can be huge. It's not healthier to tell a toddler that boys don't cry instead of explaining and discussing their feelings with them. It just feels like lazy parenting to me. That doesn't mean I won't discourage meltdowns and lashing out and ask him to use his words, but I want to be clear that sometimes you need a good cry, and that's okay. He might love trucks and trains and running around, but he also might want to play kitchen and baby doll alongside that train table. I want to support all of his choices because that's how he's going to express himself. I think stereotypically, one of the things males crave is decisive action. It's why they traditionally like action movies. There's a hero and he sorts everything out and stands heroic over his vanquished foe with a one-liner thrown over his shoulder as he walks off into the sunset. The problem with that is most situations aren't finite in structure. We rarely get to vanquish our foes. We are rarely insulated from our actions of yesterday in the present. Most of life is building relationships and tending to those relationships constantly. And that's rarely about decisive action. That's about concessions. That's about forgiving others and communication. That's about learning how much we want to yield to the will of others while remaining true to ourselves. It means writing thank you notes and saying we are sorry. It's not like the movies. I want to be able to discuss what's real and what isn't with Isaac. I want to model the behaviors that I want him to know are real, especially like apologizing to him when it's owed. In my opinion, teaching by example is the best way to quell toxic masculinity. And a lot of that responsibility will lie on the male role models in Isaac's life. But of course, it will fall on me as well to make sure that I'm not always doing traditionally feminine tasks. It's how we're hoping to teach our son that there's no such thing as men's work and women's work. There's just work, and it needs to be done. If you have other examples of how to combat toxic masculinity, even in small children, make sure you leave it in the comments below. Also, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can become a member of the Pierce family. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.